I need to start this episode of the Sideline Vision off by apologizing to my mother, who's deeply offended by my uniform list. Last week, she very much against that kind of crimson red that the Phillies wear, and she hates the creamsicles with all her heart. So she did want me to, well, she wanted to come onto the podcast and say that she raised me better. That wasn't able to work out today, but I'm here to say that she believes that she raised me better. I stand by my picks. That being said, we're back, Sideline Vision Podcast. I'm Nick Rampe, here with Reece, Leddy, and Sam Dicus as usual, and we're just going to get into it because I have things to do today. Starting off, instant replay men's basketball. Big homecoming win against Indiana State. It was looking a little dicey first half. Near halftime, they weren't even leading. End up pulling away with a 17-point win. Seniors showed out. Jake Dykstra came in, hit a three. Keith Robbins just minutes before did the same. Really cool moment for the seniors. And, of course, clinched sole possession of the Missouri Valley Conference regular season championship. Big celebration after. Honestly, one of my favorite Belmont basketball moments. One of my favorite Belmont moments, period. A lot of fun. I was running around taking pictures, and I was smiling the whole time. So yeah, that's the only thing that's happened since last episode in terms of men's basketball. Sam has women's.
Well, not quite a good a week for women's basketball. They went 0-2 on their road stretch, losing to number 4 Illinois State 83-78 in overtime, and losing to number 3 Bradley 51-47. Drops the Bruins to 12-4 in MVC play and cuts their lead over Bradley for the 2 seed to just half a game. Illinois State game, wish they could have pulled that one out. What really sunk them was fouls and poor shooting. They sent Illinois State to the line 27 times. They hit 24 free throws. Jalen Banks, Avery Strickland, Hillary Fuller each finished with 4 personal fouls. Illinois State sent the game to overtime with free throws, and 8 of their 15 points in overtime came from the free throw line. So just can't have that. And then and then with those 3 obviously playing through foul trouble, Belmont's bench only combined for 8 points in 65 minutes. They did a lot of things well, just not a whole lot of scoring punch from the bench. Overall, shot 35% from the field, 27% from 3. They forced 18 turnovers, had a 16-6 assist-to-turnover ratio. Just wasn't enough. Jalen Banks scored 26 points on 7 of 24 shooting. Avery Strickland had 17 points on 5-11 shooting. And then KK Brody off the bench had 4 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. She just keeps looking better and better. And then the Bradley game was just a tough watch. I mean, they shot 28% from the floor, 23% from 3, and they had 17 turnovers to 8 assists. I think that's just about as bad as this offense has looked. 47 points, it speaks for itself. Their defense kept them in it, and really what lost them this game is just the second quarter where they got outscored by 13. Take that second quarter out, they win this game by 9 points. So just frustrating 2 games to lose, but got to move on and finish strong.
Yeah, you watch a basketball game and there's less than 100 total points scored. You can't imagine you're watching the highest level. Really disappointing weekend. Obviously with the high that men's basketball was riding on for the women's side to go so poorly, especially come tournament time. You're hoping for a little stronger push down the stretch. But someone who did have a strong push, softball. Reece, tell us about softball.
Softball is just awesome.
It is awesome.
Oh, my gosh. So 3-1 on the weekend. Could have been 4-0. But, I mean, you got the 14-1 win over Delaware State. Great. Got it out of the way. Don't care. 5-inning, mercy rule. I mean, come on. But the 1-0 win over ranked 14th, could be 18th, Mississippi State. It's just incredible. Obviously got the win over Sanford 3-1, and then lost to Mississippi State again for that second game. But going back to that first game, Maya Johnson she is truly incredible. I mean, she had 13 strikeouts, and it's just it's one of those stats that she's putting that up where it's I'll get to baseball in a moment, but a pitcher in the baseball game threw up a stat that was really impressive for a game. But then you look up Maya Johnson sets a standard where it's like, okay, look at this: 15 strikeouts, 12 strikeouts, 15 strikeouts, 17 strikeouts, 13 strikeouts, 12 strikeouts. She has not had a game under 10 strikeouts. She hasn't had a game under 10 strikeouts, guys.
She gave up 2 combined hits this weekend. Like, that's insane. One of them for a homer against Samford, that'll happen. But, I mean, beating Mississippi State 1-0, just generational talent. Like, this is incredible what we're witnessing. Also
worth noting that softball only plays 7 innings. So it's one thing to, pitch a complete game of baseball, you have 10 strikeouts. Like, that's a fantastic game. Yeah. To do it in even less time is just it's beyond remarkable.
To have 21 outs to work with and over half of them are strikeouts. Yeah. Like, that's just...
And frankly, softball typically sees less strikeouts than baseball. Just,
a lot more slap bunt, a lot more just contact, get it on the infield.
Exactly.
One of the things this weekend is that they started Maya Johnson. That doubleheader for the Samford Mississippi State game. I don't know why they would start her against Samford. Why wouldn't they focus her on both Mississippi State games?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know like something was going to come to me and nothing did. I couldn't tell you.
Nothing. Like, I could get maybe just like at the end of the day they beat them once. That's all that matters. But like, I feel like if I'm their coach, I think Lair has a better chance at beating Samford herself than. And obviously, Lair's starting against Mississippi State. No disrespect for her. I think she's a great pitcher when Maya Johnson isn't on the mound.
I mean, 4-1.
4-1. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at.
But that kind of puzzles me a little bit.
I guess they just didn't want her to face him again. Like, but still, I mean, she had their number. So I don't know. Maybe one win over Mississippi State was enough. Just make sure you get that Samford win. I guess they just didn't want to play around with that one. Who knows? But, I mean, no matter what happens, 1-0 over Mississippi State is incredible.
Yeah. And I guess moving on to softball's counterpart, baseball. 1-2 on the weekend against Central Michigan. Honestly, I was okay with this weekend. I think their first game on Friday, Dave Jarvis didn't even want to talk about that game when I was talking to him. They had 13 hits that game. And they could not get a run to save their lives. The first 2 innings, they had bases loaded and just couldn't get anyone to home plate. But the second inning was really good because of a man I like to call Tate Marlin. He is a transfer left-handed pitcher, junior from Cedarville, and he had an 8-strikeout game. I counted 9 strikeouts on my stat sheet, but I think they got that a little bit wrong on their stat sheet, but. Whatever it was, 8 or 9 strikeouts, just an incredible game for someone who's only had since that game 2 starts. And his first start was against Samford. He had a 5 innings pitched, and I think it was 5 strikeouts too. So he not only exceeded that in, he pitched 6.1 innings, and got 8 strikeouts. Like that is truly impressive for only your 2 starts at a place that's. Like mid-major Belmont baseball, but we're in a pretty tough conference compared to where he was last season. I'm really excited to see what he can do this season.
They're going to need him on that staff. Yeah. I mean, that's just from what I've seen in the couple games that I've watched. Just their bullpens pitched really well in the games that I've seen, but starters aren't getting deep into the games. Every game I've seen has been a bullpen game. So if he can provide 5-6 innings at a lick, like that'll be.
In that rotation, that Friday night game, Ridge Harvey, he's the freshman pitcher that came in after Tate Marlin stepped out, and he did not want to get off that mound. After that 8 strikeout, like, how do you take him off the mound? But Ridge Harvey came in through 3 strikeouts after that, and closed out the game. Like, I was talking to Dave Jarvis, and I was like, dude, I love that rotation. Like, you've got to do that a lot more, or just, I'm not a coach, but... I liked what I saw in that game, and that gave me a lot of hope to just kind of be like, what does this future of this team kind of look like? Because it is a very brand-new team. It's a very brand-new season. But, yeah, I mean, and then Sunday game, lost 6-4. Looked like a game they could have won.
Game they should have won. They had the lead early, and really what just sinks this team is defensive mistakes. Like, they're just still making the same defensive mistakes that they were. He's had a rough go at first base. To me, just looking at him, he doesn't look like a natural first baseman. He's just too big not to be. Like, he's 6'5". I mean, on the pickoffs, he's catching it with two hands. Like, you can tell that he's just not really comfortable at the position yet, and it'll come over time, but just simple mistakes.
Last season he played first base for, I don't know if you know this, but last season he first base all last season. I don't know what it is this season. I honestly don't know what it is. Maybe it's I think, who is it now at shortstop? Is it Kevin McMeans who's at shortstop? Yeah. So Pete Daniel used to play shortstop. Maybe there's a bit of, I don't even know why there would be a bit of misconnection just with a new shortstop, because the whole lineup in the infield's the same. Landon Godsey's at third base. Charlie Davis is at second base. Granted, I think he's had a lot of good moments at first base, and there's a lot of moments where ooh, you probably should have got that. And I don't want to be too hard on Maddox. He lives on the same floor as me. I was Wiseman, so if he somehow listens to this podcast, I don't know.
Reece just calls it like he sees it, man.
He's hitting the cover off the ball. He had a tough game against Central Michigan on Saturday. He was 0 for 5. I think he had 3 strikeouts, left about 7 guys on base. But at the Lipscomb game, which they lost 8-2 on Tuesday, had a triple. It's his 3rd triple of the year. He's got 9 hits. 4 of them are extra bases. So this team is really struggling to lift the ball, from what I'm seeing. Really struggling to get it over guys' heads. He's the cleanup hitter. He's got a smooth lefty swing. Like, they need him to produce, and they frankly just need the defense to be better. They had a terrible late inning collapse against Lipscomb. I don't think they would have come back, but they had momentum, and then just
the score looks a lot worse.
Looks a lot worse than what it was.
Okay. Anyway, I guess.
Yeah, that's it for baseball. Sam has the rest of the sports coming up, or that have happened rather, over the past week.
Yeah, men's tennis, they hosted ETSU, lost 6-1. Just not what you're looking for. They're 2-6 on the year. Junior Stefan Vidavelli, hope that's correct, got the lone set win for them. So it's just stuck in neutral right now for them, just not really getting anywhere. Whereas women's tennis boys got their first win of the year.
Hey.
This is where dreams are made, dude.
Absolutely. Beat TSU, winless TSU. Somebody's going to have to win it. They beat them 6-1 for the first win of the year. And
but that is good to have such a dominant win over the only other win.
Yeah,
team, right?
At least it wasn't 4-3.
It wasn't somebody has to win. It was okay, we're clearly.
It wasn't someone end this game, please. It was okay. They did
their
job.
We're substantially and notably not the worst.
And looking at the sets, they weren't very close either. So I think that was huge for women's tennis. And then this kind of surprised me. I had no idea this was going on. Men's golf finished 4th in the Gulf Coast Collegiate in New Orleans. Our men's golf team's very good. They had no chance of winning this tournament because Augusta University was in it. And if Augusta University doesn't win a golf tournament, I think those kids are getting an education somewhere else.
I don't know if you guys are geography nuts, but there's kind of a notable golf thing that happens in Augusta from time to time.
Yeah, but hey, our guys kept pretty neck and neck with them. Senior Connor Brown and junior Jack Dark tied for 7th. They were just 2 strokes behind the leaders. Junior Chris Harpham finished tied at 23rd, and junior Grant Clark just missed the top 25, tying for 26th place. So 4th place out of 12 teams in New Orleans after a pretty lengthy layoff. I think a great start to the spring season for men's golf.
Yeah, and golf is our golf teams are always consistently very, very solid, and I wish that they played around here more often because
I'd go.
I'd go all the time. I love watching golf. But speaking of things I would love to watch, here's what we got. Here's what we got coming up next. I don't know why I'm locked in on that today, but that's my thing. Men's basketball hosts Evansville tonight. Evansville, and by tonight I mean Wednesday, February 25th. Evansville dead last in the conference, 2-15 in the conference, 6-22 overall. Frankly, if it's not a blowout, you feel bad. And then they travel to Illinois State on Sunday for the final regular season game of the year. Obviously, conference already locked up, already got the 1 seed in the tournament. Illinois State 10-8 in the conference, 18-11 overall, nothing to sneeze at, and they are also 12-2 at home. So a good opponent to be sure. And I was talking to somebody, I won't say who because they work in athletics, but I was talking with somebody, and the one thing that kind of does concern me about the Belmont team is there's few dominant wins. It doesn't feel like they put bad teams in their place all that frequently. And, obviously it sounds a little ridiculous coming off a 17-point win, but even that game you saw them let Indiana State, who is 3-15 in the conference, hang around for a long period of that game. So would love to see just a couple dominant performances down the stretch, especially against Evansville. And then we have to look even farther ahead because spring break is next week. We won't be here next week, but we will be in St. Louis, Missouri to cover the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. I think we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on socials while we're there. So if you just can't get enough of the Sideline Vision boys, you'll get your fix. It just won't be in the traditional way. But obviously hard to say exactly. We don't even know who we'll be playing yet, but we will be the 1 seed for that tournament. And then Sam has women's basketball.
Yeah, women's basketball hosts Indiana State, second to last Indiana State on Saturday, and then hosts 8th-ranked Southern Illinois on Monday. I'm going to call it how it is. These are 2 rebound games. You cannot lose these. These are gimmies. They are lucky to be playing the 10th and 8th-ranked team this late in the year. Get you 2 wins, move on. And then while we're gone for spring break, they play at Valparaiso on Thursday. I think remember what happened last time they played Valparaiso. It's a rough year for Valpo. I'm just going to go ahead and chalk that up to a win. If they don't beat Valparaiso, there's serious problems everybody else has. And then next Saturday, they play at 6th-ranked UIC. UIC, they're a pretty solid team. They're, I think, 8-8 right now. But what's huge about that is if the Bruins win out at 4-0, they're the 2 seed. Like, that's given. If they end up losing, if they lose any game, I think it would be UIC. So if they go 3-1 in these 4 games, Bradley and Illinois State, number 3 and number 4, Bradley and Illinois State play the day after. They play the next Sunday. If the Bruins do not win out, we are cheering for Illinois State. We cannot have Bradley win because if they win and go 4-0, we go 3-1. They'll likely take our 2 seed. So right now, just hoping for a 4-0. I think they should. I think they should win out. I think get the ball rolling heading into the tournament.
Yeah, I feel like they pose an interesting kind of dichotomy with men's basketball, where men's basketball, you look at the record and you feel like they've been so dominant, but then you look at some of the games, it's like they're kind of squeaking some of these by. Meanwhile, the women's team, you look at the record overall, and it's like, man, like especially coming off this past weekend, it's like you just don't feel great. But as a whole, like we're hanging on to the 2 seed right now. Like
they have the second best scoring differential still in MVC play at 8.5 points per game. They just doesn't matter what you've done; it matters what you're doing. And right now, this is just the wrong time to go cold.
They just feel much more prone to an off day than the men's team does, I think.
Well, they are just not as efficient shooters. Like these last 2 games, shooting below 35% from the field. You can't have that. There are very few games you win shooting below 35% from the field.
For sure. Well, that is all for basketball for the next couple of weeks, but Reece has softball and then baseball.
I mean, so softball, first up, they got two doubleheaders. Friday doubleheader against Central Michigan.
Fire up chips.
Yeah.
Sorry, fired down chips.
Fired down. But
for now.
Honestly,
chips are on standby.
Chips. Yeah. Even with who's ever on the mound, I don't see why we shouldn't sweep this weekend. I think Central Michigan, the toughest team on here is going to be my second option, Ohio University. Almost went there, but did not because it was in the middle of nowhere. But Central Michigan, 5-5 on the year, but they just haven't played to the level that we beat 2 ranked teams, guys. And I'm looking at these schedules and these stats, and I think our only struggle right now is really hitting. But even then, we've seen that's not really a problem if Maya Johnson is on the mound. even with Lair on the mound, I still feel like we have a pretty good chance, or I should say they have a really good chance of sweeping the entire weekend.
No, it's we.
It is we.
It's we at this point.
It is we. I think Ohio University is going to be the toughest game to play against. I mean, they just have a really great program. Win against Notre Dame, they have a great softball, baseball program. I mean, just Ohio's probably going to be the toughest one to face. But I think if we were going to lose any games, I think it would be one of the doubleheader games. But I think Southern Indiana have that one secured, should win both of those games against Southern Indiana. I would say the loss comes against one of the games against Central Michigan. That's just how I feel. But I don't see why we shouldn't sweep. Then for spring break, Tuesday, play at UT. That's going to be tough. That is going to be tough, but we have played tough teams.
Is UT ranked?
No, I don't believe so.
I mean, come on.
So I don't
You can
see
get
why.
one.
I think we can.
It's kind of nice. You can just the rest of the season be like, I don't see why we can't.
I don't see why. I mean, we've done it before twice. Yeah, that's going to be a really good game. I think that's a matchup Belmont deserves. Yeah, I would say give me the Belmont Bruins over UT.
I would argue that would be the most impactful win just
Yes.
because of the in-state rivalry right there. Like, that would be a great thing to hang over the Vols' heads.
Yeah.
And I mean, you come in at 0 all-time SEC wins, and then you take
Rattle
one
off
against,
3.
Yeah, you rattle off 3. I mean, and the in-state, 2 ranked teams in an in-state. It's hard to get better than that.
I will say, going back to the stretch this weekend, it is also their first home weekend, so they've played like
That's true also.
3 weekends away, and that's just insane. So I think the morality of just playing at home, I mean, even with spring break,
Just the morale.
Yeah.
Morality means it's like good
Oh.
it's like morality means it's like moral for them to do that.
Whatever.
Well,
It is
I
moral
think
to
it
win
is.
at home.
I think they have to win at home.
It's ethical
It's
to win
ethical.
at home.
I learned about this in media ethics.
Exactly.
But yeah. And then host a 3-game weekend series against USC, first MVC play. We saw them face Missouri State, which isn't in the MVC anymore, but is in CUSA. Absolutely obliterated them, by the way. Also don't see why we shouldn't sweep this weekend against UIC. But anyways, moving on to baseball. It's night and day, dude. 4-game homestand against Georgia State. Georgia State just beat number 2 Georgia Tech. If that has anything to do with it, I think Belmont probably wins one of those games somehow. If it's like they just throw in their weakest pitching rotation for Georgia State, but that's gonna be a tough weekend. I mean, even last season they played Georgia State for the home opening. It was just the opening weekend for the baseball season. They got their butts handed to them. Jake Maddox said that to me, not me. I didn't say it. He said that to me. But what was it? And then they travel to MTSU. MTSU is also a really great program. That is going to be a really tough game to play against. I mean, they played against Tennessee Tech. Tennessee Tech has a really good baseball program. Won 11-1 in 8 innings. I think they're going to be closer to us, but even then, they played a lot of similar teams that we have faced and have done far better than what we have been able to put up. I think MTSU gets that one. And then, And then Wofford. I think that's going to be a lot closer, but even then, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a really tough next couple of games for the baseball team.
Well, that's that for the softball and baseball. Sam, take us home the rest of the schedule.
Men's tennis travels to Knoxville to play 6-6 UT on Sunday, then heading to 2-10 the Citadel the following Tuesday, and then men's tennis travels to 6-4 Wofford the following Thursday. So I hope they can beat the Citadel. That would be a couple 2-win teams. I think that'd be a good one to win. I don't see us beating UT, and I don't see us beating Wofford.
Hey, call me a dreamer. I hope we beat everybody. I hope we never lose again, and that's a true statement. Is I do hope that.
It's a bold take.
No, I didn't say I think. I said I hope. Huge difference between what I hope and what I think.
Well, then women's tennis, they host 7-1 Chattanooga on Friday. Chattanooga's got a pretty good women's tennis program. Hope they win. And then they travel to 6-5 Western Kentucky on Saturday, and then next Saturday they travel to 4-3 Furman. So, yay, they beat TSU, but now they've got a pretty impressive slate of opponents. So, if they go just one, if they can squeak out a win against one of those teams, I think that would be huge. Then track and field, the MVC Indoor Championship is in Indianapolis on Sunday and Monday. Can be honest, I don't really know what's going to go on there. I don't know who's competing. It was just on the schedule.
I feel like they're constantly doing championships in track and field. I feel like every time I check the schedule, there's some invitational, there's some championship.
Right after that, it's the NCAA Indoor Championship in beautiful Fayetteville, Arkansas, the following Tuesday and Wednesday. So let's see how they do in those.
That might be an original sentence.
In beautiful Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Yeah, and then women's golf will be playing in the Huntsville.org Invitational in Owens Cross Roads, Alabama on Monday and Tuesday. It's hosted by Samford, and that's all the information that Samford wants you to know.
Huntsville.org? So like Huntsville itself. It's their website. It's
their website.
Sponsoring it. Not the town.
Nope, it's just the website.
Just the website. Well, it's probably, their tourism website.
Oh, yeah, because Huntsville's known for tourism.
Look, man, somebody's got – you got to try. You got
rockets?
Yeah, the Space Museum, yeah.
There you go.
You want to learn about space? Go to Huntsville.
My dad –
We're saying this like we didn't just come from Museumville, USA, or whatever Cartersville, Georgia called themselves.
Well –
Museum City.
What does Huntsville have on Cartersville? Let's be honest.
I mean, if they have more than like 5 museums, they might have a claim to Museum City. I don't know. Sorry, you were saying something, Sam?
My dad has always wanted to take us to Huntsville to go to the rock, and we just always shoot it down.
I thought you were going to be like, my dad's from Huntsville, and he loves it.
No, we just drive through it a lot.
All right. For our final segment, it's written down on the docket. It says MLB mild take and MLB hot take. I kind of have one that I think is kind of both. So I'm gonna shoot off rip here. I'm of course going to my Detroit Tigers. I'm going to our number 1 starting pitcher. And my mild / hot take is that Tarek Skubal will be the first person to win 3 consecutive Cy Youngs since Randy Johnson won 4 in 99, 2000, 2001, 2002. Maddox also did it 4 times in a row, but no one else has ever done it 3 times in a row. I feel like that's both mild to say that, yeah, Tarek Skubal, probably the best pitcher in the American League, but you look at the odds, it's rare. So that's mine.
I don't know who would win it over him. Garrett Crochet.
Crochet feels like maybe the toughest competition, but. Hey, maybe Justin Verlander, his teammate, has a late career resurgence, but, or maybe it could be if one of those Mariners guys like Kirby or Wu stays healthy for a full year.
Hunter Brown, Houston Astros, he's a good pitcher.
It really just takes someone getting hot for an entire season, which is hard. So that's I feel like it fits pretty well in each of those.
I guess. My hot take is that since the Red Sox beat the Northeastern University Huskies 8-3 in spring training to go on for their 22-0 record against the program, who's to say we're not going to do that for the rest of the season? You know what I mean? I don't know. Even then, Red Sox, I'm not very hopeful for them this season. I think it's the same story every year for the Red Sox. It's, we got a lot of great guys that I'm really happy that we got picked up, like Crochet, or not Crochet's on the mound, but I should say Alex Bregman. Like, just people like those who are like, all right, we're going to re-sign him, it's going to be good, and, they say I have interest in going to the Reds, or staying with the Red Sox, and then John Henry just doesn't pay him. And, yeah, my hot take is that I think the Red Sox are going to do exactly what they did last year.
Yeah, I do kind of hope that if we're halfway through the season and Skubal is on Cy Young pace, I hope that Chris Ilitch goes, hey, maybe I should pay like the best baseball player on the planet, whatever he wants, actually. Hey, I'm actually a multi-billionaire. I own Little Caesars. You know what? If Chris Ilitch wants to make it a $7 hot and ready, I will happily buy 1,000 to keep Skubal in Detroit. All right, and then Sam, what's your mild / hot take?
So I've got one that's mild, one that's pretty hot.
The way that
Yeah.
it was written on the docket and supposed to be.
My mild take is that Shohei Ohtani will finish top 5 in MVP and Cy Young this year.
Ooh, I almost feel like that's hot take.
He's done both in separate years. His arm's back healthy. And also, I mean, he's a unicorn. Like, if you watch, I think it was Game 4 against Milwaukee in the NLCS when he struck out 10 batters in 7 innings and hit 3 home runs. Like, I don't think it'll happen, but I think that it could happen. My hot take is that 3 American League East teams will make the playoffs. The Blue Jays will win the division. The Orioles will be a wild card. The Red Sox will be a wild card. The Yankees do not make the playoffs and fire Aaron Boone.
Ooh, that's interesting. I
love that take.
I think they're a little too. If any of those teams you mentioned were to miss, I think it would be the Orioles. I'm really not like. They're better than they were last year for sure, but I'm not really like bought in on them being much more like. I don't even see them really winning like 90 games.
My thing is, Gunnar Henderson's back. The guy is one of the top 10 players in baseball. Pete Alonso, I don't know if you've seen what he's done so far in the spring. He hit 2 home runs in his first 2 games. I think he's going to like hitting in Baltimore. I think their problem is pitching, but I also think that the Yankees' problem is pitching, and guys don't have healthy arms. I think if something happens and Garrett Cole gets set back or Carlos Rodon keeps having injuries, who knows what can happen.
It is a weird division, and I feel like the Rays are just frisky for no reason every year.
Yeah.
Even when they're bad, it's like you just never are like, oh, I want to. Oh, nice, we have the Rays.
Oh, Tampa Bay, let's go win these 3 games.
Yeah,
it's they're scrappy and annoying, kind of like.
Unlike the New Orleans Saints, they are scrappy. Love you, Ty. Yeah, I'm intrigued by that, but I it's feasible. I definitely see where you're coming from on that. Does anyone have one more message for the people before we wrap up here?
Michael Jordan might be the best NASCAR owner I've ever seen, and I'm like dead serious. I don't know if you guys have seen.
I have.
Yeah.
Daytona 500. Tyler Reddick wins the Daytona 500, and then in Atlanta wins again. Michael Jordan just beat NASCAR in like a lawsuit. I don't know if you guys like were keeping up with that, and like to win that, not even just settle it, just win that, and the commissioner resigns because of Michael Jordan. And let me tell you, I just want to say, Michael Jordan, thank you.
Could you imagine like taking a time machine back to when Michael Jordan retired to play baseball, and you're like, hey, this isn't going to stick, but he's going to be like a really important NASCAR owner in 35 years. Just wait.
And then you go back in time again when he owns the Hornets, and you're like, hey, this isn't working out. But
Mike, buddy, hear me out. Drop this team. Don't worry about them. Yeah, pretty much the only NASCAR news I get is when it revolves around somebody who played a sport that I actually do follow. But it was an interesting week, month. However long it's been for Michael Jordan, it's been an interesting ride. Much like this podcast, which we are going to end here. We will we'll be in touch. We'll be in touch on the Instagram, documenting our trip, and then
we can make it a documentary.
We can make a documentary.
We could probably make a documentary. Hey, I'm going out there with a camera. I'll see what I can do. But yeah, we hope to have you guys back listening in 2 weeks. See you then.